You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tina Meder, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Meder Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Let's discuss about exfoliation today. I am sure many of you heard about exfoliation. It is an essential part of skincare. And it is true. But we should understand human biological system. It's not like a car. If you will not fill the car with some gas or petrol, probably it will not move. But biological system, they are renewing itself. We have this process called homeostasis, which maintains the balance in our body. So our skin is able to exfoliate itself. We have natural mechanisms of exfoliation, which we call desquamation of the skin. And it is not only about the skin. All organs and all tissues in our body, they need a renewal. In some tissues like nervous system, the cells renew very slowly, but still this process is going on. But in some organs and tissues like skin, liver, or digestive tract, cells are renewing much faster. Our skin renews itself average in 28 days. Obviously, many factors affect the natural desquamation of the skin. In young age, our skin exfoliates a little bit faster. In older age, this process slows down naturally. 28 days is average number of days when superficial layer of the skin called epidermis renews completely. Why we need skin renewal, especially in the epidermis? If you remember the skin anatomy, you know that we have two skin layers. Deeper layer, it is the dermis, and on the dermis we have superficial layer called epidermis. Dermis itself is the structure of the skin. In the deeper layer of the epidermis, we have fibers, collagen, forming these beautiful structures. And because of this structure, our skin is elastic and strong and tightened. Also, in this layer, we have a lot of hyaluronic acid, forming this matrix inside. On this layer, we have the structure called membrane. Basal membrane, it's the border between deeper layer of the epidermis and superficial layer of the epidermis. In deeper lines behind basal membrane, we have a capillary network itself. On the top of the border, we have superficial layer of the epidermis without any capillary and is packed with cells which are constantly moving on the skin surface. So literally, the cell called keratinocyte is born on the basal membrane. And since the moment the cell is born, it's starting to moving up. It's diving in the water, but in another sense. So from basal membrane, they're all going on the surface. In this process, from this basal membrane to the surface, in the relatively young, healthy skin, takes approximately 28 days. Why we need it? Because the superficial layer called epidermis is doing for us this all border clearance and all the work of protection. All the superficial layer is covered by the keratinous layer with lipid called stratum corneum, and on this stratum corneum we have our skin microbiome thriving and protecting our skin differently also from all kind of external aggression, infections, and doing a lot of work so our skin can function properly. But to achieve this level of protection, our cells are producing a lot of essential substances, and they are doing it by transforming themselves. So when they start their way in the basal membrane of the epidermis, they are young, round, full of hope, and they're starting to move up, simultaneously synthesizing different substances, including lipids called ceramides. These lipids, which are synthesized by our epidermis cells, they will be absolutely essential to form our stratum corneum layer of protection. But it takes time. So the first half of these 28 days, our cells are going up, synthesizing and producing the special granules inside. And after its granules, they're filling up with ceramides, and this is energy-consuming process. So cells need energy, cells need water, cells need some nutrition. They're interacting with each other, and somewhere in the middle of the epidermis, they are starting to change the form. They became less round and more angular, and about 10 days before coming on the skin surface, they are destroying their membranes, releasing all these lipids and other essential substances around them, including water-holding amino acid, some biologically active substances, anti-inflammatory substances, and the membrane, the cells itself, create envelope, which used as a brick and mortar structure for the most superficial layer of the skin, of the stratum corneum. And all lipids and all substances, they synthesized in the process when they've been moving out from the basal membrane to the skin surface. All the substances are used to create the glue between this dead cells envelope on the skin surface. And at this point, their cells are dead. And when they are on the surface, at some point it should be shedded from the skin, giving the place for new cells coming higher for our protection. The efficiency of our skin protection depends on so many factors, not only on external factors affecting our skin, but also on the inner factors. How many lipids this cell is able to produce, how many of amino acids it's accumulated and released in the mid layers, how biologically active being other substances, how cells are communicating between them. That's why they need this whole period of time just to build up this perfect protection. Also, this protection became a very friendly environment for all of our microfriends, billions and billions of bacteria and viruses and fungi protecting our skin differently. So it's very complex. And now, if you try to count how many substances we need to create what we call barrier of the skin, lipid mantle, and the very complex combined complex called natural moisturizing factor, built from water-holding molecules, there will be a few hundreds of them. And all of them are essential. All of them should be balanced. In the healthy skin, we even know the ratio between cholesterol and fatty acids and other substances, how much of lactic acid we need to hold the water on the skin surface. Fun fact. About 8%. How many of urea we should have. So the all of substances, it's very complicated chemistry. Our skin renewal is a natural process which continues every day of our life, and it ensures that old, damaged, contaminated cells will be removed and will make way for new and healthy cells. Also, it balances the proliferation of the cells on the basal membrane. Proliferation, it's reborn process of the skin. So on each place of the cell which is going up, new cells will be born on the basal membrane. And the speed of this process also defines our skin barrier and defines the skin appearance. Because when we have this healthy skin cells renewal, our skin texture looks beautiful, you will not have enlarged pores, your skin is protected from inflammation, and also protected from premature aging. But slow exfoliation can make your skin thicker, weaker, less protected, but the same thing can do the over-exfoliation. So our natural exfoliation should not be too slow, but should not be too fast. So this average 28 days is the gold standard for healthy skin. How the natural exfoliation of the skin is regulated? First of all, we have some mechanism which called internal cell clock. It regulates the lifespan of skin cells. So skin cells, for some specific period of time, adhering to each other, so as they're sticking together, but at some period, it's this 28 days, these bridges between skin cells will be destroyed naturally by enzymes, specifically destroying some substances sticking cells together. Also, calcium plays a very important role in natural skin exfoliation. If you have less of calcium, which needed in your epidermis, all the cell bridges and cell bonds are weakened, and the skin starts to exfoliate faster. When you have more of calcium, your skin exfoliates a little bit slower. So, lower level of calcium promotes the natural exfoliation of the skin. Also, we are very much dependent on the activity of enzymes, which called keratolytical enzymes, because they should destroy protein, they're keratin eating, and the synthesis of these enzymes, it's a very active process, which is age-related. So in the young age, we synthesize a little bit more of keratolytical enzymes. In the old age, we synthesize less and less of them. But also, this response can be activated by environmental signals or other biological signals. For example, when our skin is inflamed, it starts to exfoliate faster, because it's one of the ways to reduce the inflammation. If your skin is exposed to the ultraviolet, it starts to exfoliate slower because it helps to create additional thick layer on the surface of the epidermis. When you have more of dead cells, ultraviolet penetrates into the skin less efficiently, so your skin will be less exposed to the ultraviolet damage. Same for the air pollution or other damaging factors. So every time when you exfoliate your skin excessively, when you do something additional to exfoliate your skin, it can slow down the natural skin exfoliation. So everything should be very balanced. And also circadian rhythms, because our natural skin exfoliation is absolutely circadian process regulated by our inner body clock located in the brain. And we have the chemical messenger, the key molecule of the skin exfoliation, as well as it works as a renewal molecules for all other organs and tissues in our body. And you guess what? You know this name. Because the key exfoliating molecule, it is retinoic acid, which present in our body naturally. We are born able to convert retinoic acid. The babies start to convert retinoic acid from biologically active substances from the mother's breast milk, and after we continue to convert beta-carotene, which we receive with the food, to the active form of retinoic acid. It's circulating around all our organ and system, including the skin, promoting the natural renewal process of all cells. So retinoic acid, it binds the specific retinoic receptors in keratinocytes and in all skin cells, and it triggers a whole complicated biochemical cascade of processes which helps to proliferate and differentiate to all skin cells on basal membranes to differentiate the keratinocytes. Sometimes when I listen to the sentences like, if you will not use retinol in your 20s, you will be all wrinkles in your 40s. I always want to say, guys, retinol is already here. In your 20s, we have enough of retinoic acid circulating in your body, especially if you eat healthy, if you live some kind of active life, just normal active life. There are a lot of food source of retinol. So first thing, to speed up the skin renewal can be done not even with the skincare. It can be done with the diet, because when you have more of source of beta-carotene for your body, you will get more of retinoic acid circulating in your body, and your cells everywhere will be renewing more efficiently. What can it be? Look for the yellow and orange color in your plate, because beta-carotene is yellow. So carrots, pumpkin, sweet potato, egg yolk, butternut, mango, apricots, melon, peaches, butter, cheese, all kind of fish. So there are a lot of healthy food which can help you to keep your skin exfoliation under control. But retinoic acid synthesis slows down with an age, and it can affect our skin natural exfoliation. That's why we need more help when we are aging. Also, that's very interesting to discuss about circadian regulation of the natural desquamation of the skin, because it gives you an understanding of the perfect time for an exfoliation process and the role of the healthy sleep in your skin renewal. Actually, the peak of the cell renewals, it happens around the midnight, and it never happens during the day. Your skin renews during the night only. Our skin cells, keratinocytes, they stay immobilized on the basal membranes since probably 6 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. at the evening time. They are not renewing themselves during the day. But from the 10 p.m. they start to move, they start to proliferate, they start to differentiate, and they start to move. And in the midnight, they move very actively. Around this time, enzymes which destroy keratin in our skin surface, in the superficial skin layers, they become more and more active. So they start shed all the dead cells from the skin surface. Probably it gives you an understanding why you should clean the skin at the morning time. Because during the nighttime, your skin has been naturally exfoliating and will be renewing very actively. And even if you clean your skin properly at night, yes, you removed all debris, you removed your makeup if you wear one, you removed the rest of sunscreen, everything, and you are happy going to bed. And after you waking up, and I heard it so many times, why I should wash my face in the morning? I did nothing. I stay in my clean, proper bed. Yes, you stay in the bed, but your skin was very active, so you have multiple dead cells on your skin surface, and you should eliminate these dead cells to give away for new cells on the skin surface, to give away for the skin renewal. So this barrier function, when your skin is renewing itself, your skin become much more permeable for everything. And actually during the nighttime, your skin loses the water more actively than your skin loses the water during the daytime. So if you have a tendency for the dry skin, very probably you wakes up with this feeling of discomfort and dryness and tightness. But during the nighttime, your skin does not produce the sebum. So if you have a tendency of the oily skin, you wake up with relatively matte skin. Only if your sebum production is really excessive, you will wake up with a very shiny skin, but your skin will be matte and drier during the morning hours. Also, it is important to understand that everything which you apply on the skin at the evening, especially after 10 p.m., will penetrate into the skin deeper and will affect your skin cells more efficiently. So the same product, when you apply at the morning and at the evening, can interact with your skin differently. Automatically, it will be more active and more efficient at night, even if you don't use more intense skincare. So if you have a sensitive skin, if you have a tendency for dryness, you should use more moisturizer at night. And you should use more nourishing, more richer skin texture and richer skin product. In the same time, you should not use rich film-making products during the nighttime. If you want to maintain your exfoliation, Why natural exfoliation is not enough? The Mother Nature created our skin as it's really the smart design for our body and for our skin, but it works perfectly only in our young age. It slows with an age. And actually, in baby skin, the skin renews so fast. The average period of the skin renewal in children until the 3, maybe 5 years, it's about 14 days. And the skin looks very new, right? New, beautiful, and shining. In the adult skin, until the age of 30, maybe 35 years old, if your skin wasn't overexposed to the ultraviolet, air pollution, or other damaging factors, the period of the renewal will be about 28 days. But after it continued to slow down, and in adult over 50 years old, it can be slowed down until 40, 42 days, and in older age, until 80, 90 days. So it will be about 3 months. And skin will be thicker, the texture of the skin will be changed, and the skin looks dull and dusty because it just takes mechanically much more substances which stays on the skin surface. And we don't see, because the skin appearance very much depends on the ratio between absorption of the light and reflection of the light. When your skin renews properly and with, let's say, perfect speed, your skin reflects more light than absorbs it. When your skin renews slower, your skin absorbs more light, so looks more matte and not so shining. You lose this youth glow of the skin. Also, environmental stressors can slow down the skin renewal, such as air pollution, ultraviolet damage, smoking. Some skin conditions speed up the skin renewal, but we are not happy about it. For example, in the acute phase of psoriasis, the skin renews every 5 days. And you know how it looks. Pink, red, painful, wet, not protected at all. But in some skin conditions, skin can renew slower, so it will look thick, overpigmented, change the color, and very rough. And exfoliation with an age becomes uneven. So in some area of the skin, the speed of the natural skin exfoliation can stay normal, for example, around the eyes area or on cheeks area. But on the forehead or on the chin, it can be much slower. So the skin can look very differently. How to help your skin to maintain the healthy natural exfoliation? First, as I mentioned previously, healthy diet. If you don't eat enough of vegetables, fruits, if you choose do not eat fish or eggs, very probably you can be deficient in beta-carotene. And when you're deficient in the beta-carotene, your skin exfoliation slows. So the healthy diet, which helps you to get enough of natural retinoic acid circulating in your body, it is a key for your skin health, but also to the health of your digestive system and all other organs and systems. Second thing, healthy sleep. 7 to 9 hours of the healthy sleep ensures that every day you have the necessary amount of dead cells shedding from your skin. If you have a sleep deficiency, if you have a sleep trouble, it means you need help with the skin exfoliation. Another thing, that's physical activity. When you stay active at least 180 minutes during the week, it's not too much. It's like half of hours every day. You stay active. You do not sit on your chair, on your sofa. You do something. It helps your skin exfoliate better. If you live the sedentary lifestyle, once again, you need help with an exfoliation. Same about the stress, because high level of the stress affects the skin exfoliation as well. And obviously, environment. If your skin is exposed to the ultraviolet, the natural exfoliation process will be slower because it's a protective measure from your body. Same thing if you live in the big city when air and water are polluted by some industrial toxins. Also slows down your skin exfoliation. But you should be very careful because a lot of people, they have this tendency to exfoliate the skin too much. We call it over-exfoliation. Over-exfoliation leads to sensitivity of the skin because you just take too much of dead cells from the skin surface and your new living cells are exposed to the environmental factors. Also, it causes redness and irritation. In extreme causes, it can lead to the rosacea development. It creates dryness and flakiness because you don't have enough of lipids on your skin. Because you remember, your skin cells, when they're moving up from the basal membrane, they're very busy. They are synthesizing, they're producing these lipids, amino acid, other biologically active substances, water-holding substances. If you make them move faster, they have no time to produce it for your skin. Okay, you exfoliate your skin, now your skin renews not in 28 days, but in 20 days. But it is pink and dry, so what's the point? Also, it puts you in higher danger of ultraviolet damage because the healthy stratum corneum, the healthy microbiome, what protects you from the ultraviolet naturally. And all sunscreens are designed to be able to protect efficiently healthy skin. If your skin is unhealthy, if your skin is sensitized or damaged, sunscreen will be not efficient enough. And it can create hyperpigmentation as well. So over-exfoliated skin is always higher risk of pigmentation disorders and wrinkles development. So how often we should exfoliate the skin? I will say that in average, for healthy adult, it would be beneficial to use exfoliation once a week using some home skincare solutions, or probably once a month or twice a month using professional exfoliating solutions. If your skin is thin and sensitive, you need less of exfoliation. Probably twice a month it would be enough. If your skin is oversensitive or you suffer from rosacea, you don't need additional exfoliation, as well as you are suffering from eczema or psoriasis. Your skin exfoliates itself too fast already. So we should slow down the skin renewal process. But for this type of exfoliation, sometimes, I say very rarely, you need exfoliation twice a week, mostly for people who have a hyperkeratosis, for people which skin was hardly damaged by the sun and created this leathery structure, which we call sun-induced elastosis of the skin. Or for male who are living very active life and also exposed very much to the ultraviolet and to the air pollution. So here we probably can exfoliate the skin twice a week. But no way then you need daily skin exfoliation. You don't need it. And despite all advertisement of skin devices and skincare products, and you should use peeling every week, you should use brushing every week or something else, just forget about it. The safe frequency of the exfoliation once a week on average, with an exception a little bit more frequent or a little bit rare. We have different category of exfoliator. In the skincare, we can use mechanical exfoliation, we can use chemical exfoliation, we can use enzymatic exfoliation, and biological exfoliation, which is, spoiler alert, is my favorite. Also, some exfoliator can be combined mechanical with biological or mechanical with chemical. What is a mechanical exfoliation? It is an abrasion. So we are using some kind of abrasive particles of the skin and some movement when we just eliminate dead cells and polish our skin mechanically or manually. There can be machines like dermabrasion devices. They can use sands, they can use even diamonds, and they can use water-based solution, saline solution. For me, water-based solutions, they are the best because they are much safer and they help not only to renew the skin, but moisturize the skin in the same time. Also, there can be different brushes, which are not my favorite at all, because all brushes, they are micro-traumatizing, micro-damaging the skin, even the softest one. increases the risk of the skin infections, especially when they are not properly disinfected, and it is very difficult to properly disinfect the brushes. Actually, I think that most famous brush, Clarisonic, is probably the key to this pandemic of skin sensitivity amongst young people who loves to use this Clarisonic every day and sometimes even twice a day. You just traumatize the skin like this. Forget about it. Also, it can be ultrasonic peel or scrubber. We are using them mostly in the professional setting. The new method called dermaplaning, when you are literally using the razor for the skin, traumatizing, not safe, not my favorite at all. Soft method of mechanical exfoliation using different clothes and sponges and gloves and different kind of microfiber, loofah, and so on. My favorite is Japanese konjac micro sponge. It really helps to not only softly exfoliate the skin, but also it's full of bioavailable amino acids, proteins, so it helps to slightly restore the skin barrier. So if I choose from all devices and mechanical things to use, I vote for konjac sponges. And also we can use skincare. We are speaking mostly about scrubs. Scrubs, there are some skincare formulation rich in abrasive particles that can be salt, it can be the sugar, it can be micronized rice, some micronized stones, including semi-precious or precious, micronized opals, pearls, seeds, nuts, whatever you want, just to get the particles. If they have some biochemical properties potentially beneficial for the skin themselves, it makes this scrub more beneficial for the skin. For example, natural pearls, they are rich in the substances helping to improve water holding capacity of the skin. Opals, they're literally petrified algae, so also they can be beneficial. Nuts and seeds, they can contain fatty acids, so they can be more nourishing for the skin. So it really depends on the ingredient which you're using for exfoliate the skin. Also, sometimes you will find a name like gommage or peeling gels, which use the same principles, just slightly different ingredients. So the method of the application will be different. For example, for peeling gels, you apply it on the skin, you wait until the drying of this gel, and after you must slightly eliminating softly dead cells with the rest of this gel, which been sticked to the skin surface, to the stratum corneum. Gommages, they are more oil-based, so they have less of abrasive particles, but in the same time, they can be softer, so gommage, they are used more for sensitive skin or for dry skin. There are pro and contra for every method. For mechanical exfoliation, definitely we have some pro. We have benefits. You can see results immediately because you just eliminate dead cells and even you eliminate the excess of the melanin or the pigment in the very superficial skin layer. So skin looks brighter, skin looks more shiny and looks renewed, more fresh and healthier. Also, it can be used for different skin types carefully. For sensitive skin, be very careful about inflamed skin. We don't recommend to use it for acne-prone skin or for skin with dermatosis, but also it can help to unclog pores in the oily skin, and it is accessible. That's most affordable category of the exfoliation because the price is not very high. But we have a lot of contra. In the same time, yes, it's affordable, but it's more potentially damaging skincare. It's difficult to control. When there are professionals who perform the mechanical exfoliation, for example, the dermabrasion, it can be more intense and still it can be sensitizing for the skin. So it's very much depends on the qualification of professional. But when you're using it in the home care, it depends on your qualification and how heavy or light your hands will be on your face. And it's not suitable for all areas. You cannot use exfoliation around your eyes. It will be too much. And also it can lead to the potential skin infections. If you have one area of infection with mechanical exfoliation, you can really worsen the situation. Another category of the exfoliation we call chemical exfoliations. Chemical exfoliation is based on the use of chemically active substances which can chemically destroy dead cells. So literally it can destroy the keratin, sticking dead cells to each other. Here we are using acids, but it's possible to use alkaline solutions as well. And probably you've seen on the Instagram or TikTok the sodium bicarbonate peelings, which are very trendy. And I highly not recommend to use alkaline solution because it's not physiological pH in the first place. Our skin has a healthy pH around 4.8 until 5.0. Alkaline solution, sodium bicarbonate, they are higher than 8. So it will be very disruptive for your skin barrier, and most of the time it will be absolutely damaging for your skin microbiome, and you need the skin microbiome. Skin microbiome does a lot of work for your skin. It keeps the skin functional and healthy. So alkaline solutions, they're probably the most damaging for the skin. Acidic solution based on the hydroxy acids, they are less disruptive because at least the pH it's near to the physiological, but also the concentration, the high pH of the chemical solution can create the disruption and can damage the skin barrier and can damage the microbiome. But also chemical peels can be used for the intense skin renewal, to treat wrinkles, to treat the hyperpigmentation, and even in some cases we use deep peels to treat scarring, especially post-acne scars. What can you use for chemical exfoliation? First category, they are alpha hydroxy acids. The most popular, it is a glycolic acid. Also, we are using kojic azelaic acid mostly for dry aging skin and skin with uneven skin tone. And as a soft version of the peel can be used lactic acid. It's much more gentle to the skin and it helps dry skin to moisturize it better, but it doesn't exfoliate the skin so dramatically as glycolic acid, for example. Also, the new categories, they are polyhydroxy acid, so the same hydroxy acid, but linked to the long chain, so they cannot penetrate into the skin as deep as hydroxy acid do, because glycolic acid is very small molecules. Everything which has a molecular weight less than 500 Dalton penetrates into the skin without any additional help. Glycolic acid has a weight about 140 Dalton, so it penetrates into the skin, destroying all these keratin bonds on their thumbs. Polyhydroxy acid, like lactobionic acid or gluconolactone, they cannot penetrate into the skin. They cannot even penetrate into the epidermis. They lie on the surface of the skin, on the stratum corneum, and they are imbibing gently and naturally into the stratum corneum, softly destroying these keratin bonds between dead cells and increasing the water holding capacity of the skin in the same time. Also, indirectly, they are activating keratinocyte proliferation and differentiation process in the deep of the skin. So they are gentle and they are more anti-aging, if I can say so, and moisturizing ingredient, gently exfoliating at the same time. Sometimes salicylic acid used as a peeling agent, but salicylic acid is actually chemically different from alpha hydroxy acid and it's fat soluble. So we use it mostly for an oily skin. That's no point to use salicylic acid for the dry skin because it will not act properly. It will just irritate the dry skin. Retinol and derivative of retinol can be used as a part of the peeling because also retinol is a very small molecule. It is not exfoliating itself, but it can activate the skin renewal very intensely. So it can just speed up the whole process of the skin cells transfer from the basal membrane to the skin surface. And yes, skin be renewed in the 5, 7, 10, 14 days, but in the same time, it's highly sensitizing for the skin. So the skin becomes very vulnerable, especially to the ultraviolet damage. Some time ago, phenols being popular, and salicylic acid, it's also phenolic compound. Phenols are fat soluble as well, but they're penetrating into the skin very intensely, and they exfoliate the skin, and in the same time, they are toxic for skin cells. So they're not purely exfoliating. They are changing the skin structure on the architectural, structural level. So it can really diminish visible wrinkles and even eliminate the wrinkles, but it creates a scar-like skin on the face. Now, phenol is almost not in the use, also because it is highly toxic. So phenol is banned from the skincare formulation. Sometimes, as I know, it still can be used in the professional chemical peels, but once again, I do not recommend it. It's unsafe. And there are some dermatological peels formulation, like yellow peel, based on salicylic acid with retinol, hydroquinone, and by the way, it's banned in the European Union. Some peels can contain even hydrocortisone, steroid hormone, to speed up the skin renewal and suppress the inflammation related to the skin renewal. And dermatologists offer this pill, but it can be prescribed only by medical professional, only by doctor, and can be controlled and followed by doctors. Chemical exfoliation, they have a lot of fun. And that's good because, yeah, it can exfoliate your skin very efficiently. It's one of the great professional tools for skin treatment and for aesthetic treatment. It's used largely for the treatment of age-related changes and pigmentation. It's relatively versatile. It increases the skin permeability to other active ingredients. So after use of some chemical exfoliator, you can be sure that everything you apply on the skin will penetrate deeper and will penetrate in higher dosage. And it can have some potential skin benefits related to the ability of the substance to stimulate something else in the skin. For example, glycolic acid is able to stimulate fibroblasts, skins in the deep skin layers, producing collagen. So it's kind of collagen booster. Kojic acid can suppress the bacterial activity in the skin. So it's used for acne treatment as well. By the way, it is irritating. So now it's a whole discussion. Should we use it or not? It's used for rosacea treatment because it has some not very clear but still anti-inflammatory properties. So each chemical agent can be independently active in some other area. But we have a lot of control for chemical peels. First of all, they can be difficult to control. From the moment you apply the acid-based solution on the skin, you are not in control of the situation. Your skin will decide itself what to do with it. It is high risk of side effects, and it can be especially dangerous for people with darker skin types. So it will be very risky to offer chemical exfoliation for people with 5th and 6th skin types by Fitzpatrick. With chemical exfoliation, you are always in the risk of the over-exfoliation of the skin. Microbiome is compromised because the pH is changing, and our microfriends are very sensitive to the pH. It's a part of their comfort zone. All chemical peels are photosensitizing, so your skin will be in the higher risk of the ultraviolet damage, and it puts you in the high risk of hyperpigmentation and the skin dryness and the skin sensitivity. In people who has a high risk of the scarring, especially keloid scars, chemical peels can activate this process and can lead to the unwanted scarring, especially in the open area. All chemical peels, they are more or less irritating, and they demand more or less of the downtime. So it should be very balanced, and I will say, then for me, chemical peels, it is a professional tool. It can be used in the professional setting, in clinics, in medispa, but for home care, I will not advise it because it is complicated and it's related to higher risk of different side effects. Next category of pills, they're relatively new, enzymes. Enzymes have been used probably in the last 25, maybe 30 years as cosmetic ingredients in the skincare. And first and foremost, we've been using plant-derived enzymes. The most famous one, it is papain, derived from papaya. Also, we are using bromelain, derived from pineapple. And now that's a new enzyme, ficin, derived from figs. All of plants-derived enzymes, they're proteolytical, so they're keratolytical. They destroy the keratin bonds, dead cells on the skin surface. And also, in the same time, they can help to regulate the sebum production, and they are much less irritating than chemical. Also, they're natural. So it's a part of the clean technology. It's botanical. So it's biologically, it's more gentle to the skin and friendlier to the skin. In the same time, enzymes can be irritating. And some enzymes, some plants and fruit extracts, they are almost not in use in the skincare. For example, kiwi. Kiwi is very rich in keratolytical enzyme, but they are so active, they can really burn the skin. So we stay with a gentler solution. And also, some plant enzyme, they can be allergenic themselves, like papaya enzyme, papain. It's well known to be quite allergenic. Also, another enzymes used in exfoliation of the skin, that's a new generation called biological pills. They are bacterial and yeast enzymes, so they are probiotics used to exfoliate the skin because some of bacteria, some of fungi, they have these keratolytical properties. The microbiome also contributes to the natural skin exfoliation. So some part of the bacteria living on our skin, and I can say that big part of them, they are lactic bacteria. They are producing lactic acid naturally, and in the same time, they have keratolytical properties themselves. So our microbiome maintains a healthy exfoliation of our skin naturally, and when we use a part of this microbiome focusing on the keratolytical microorganisms and lactic acid producing microorganisms, we can create this biological pill for the skin. And it is my favorite solution. It is the most innovative one, it's really modern, and why I love it so much? Because probiotic enzymes, they can destroy keratin as much as plant enzymes do without any irritation. They can go into the stratum corneum as deep as all acids do without the risks, and they go deeper in the epidermis, and without modulating and changing pH of the skin. And they can exfoliate the skin as efficiently as all combined pill can do, but they are selective. So they are not irritating for the skin. They are biologically active, but in the same time, they are biologically identical to our skin microbiome. So our skin does not react to the probiotic enzymes like to something hostile to its skin. So you can get the same effect or even better effect with probiotic enzymes without any side effect or downtimes. Also, the probiotic enzymes are easy to combine with some abrasive particles, so you can play with intensity of the exfoliation. For example, when you are applying this exfoliating product, like our NZPO, Medder NZPO exfoliating mask on the skin, when the skin is sensitive, you just leave it on the skin as a mask, and your probiotic enzyme do the work exfoliating the skin gently and superficially. But if the skin is thick and in need of more active exfoliation, you can add the manual exfoliation using abrasive particles. In NZPO, they are micronized opals, or you can even use some devices like ultrasound spatula, so to go even deeper. So for me, biological pills, they are modern, safe, and most efficient solution comparing with all other categories of exfoliators. And probably my favorite ingredients in the biological peel, that's a mix of probiotic enzymes, which helps to destroy keratin, so they're proteolytical, but also they produce the part of lipolytical enzymes, so they can clean as well, and they clean pores very efficiently, and also they destroy the part of carbs on the skin, restoring the healthy environment for the microbiome, because the excess of carbs, excess of sugar, leads to the overgrowth of inflammatory bacteria in our intestine and our guts, but on our skin as well. So with this blend of keratolytical, proteolytical, and carbolytical enzymes, we can not only exfoliate the skin, but also restore and maintain the healthy microbiome and control the sebum production. And this ingredient called keratoline, it is a blend of 7 strains of enzyme active bacteria and fungi, which is used now in some new innovative formulation in skincare. We are using it since 2009. So as you see, exfoliation can be great help for natural exfoliation of our skin and can help us to keep our skin properly renewed, properly protected without compromising the skin barrier. All you need is to stay smart about it and do not over-exfoliate the skin. So remember, if you are older than 30, the exfoliation should be the part of your skincare, and the best way is to use it on the weekly basis. It should be gentle, it should be comfortable, it should not leave your skin uncomfortable or dry or sensitized, and just do not forget to do it. But if you've had some professional aesthetic procedures, if you've had dermabrasion on chemical peel, you will be out of the home care exfoliation for the upcoming few weeks. So stay careful, exfoliate yourself, and stay beautiful. Thank you for joining us today on the Medder Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@medderbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit medderbeauty.com and discover Medder Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.